Got you stuck off the realness, realness. Got you stuck off the realness, realness.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We are back.
we're back. We're live. What the hell is it? Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday. I'm gonna say April 3rd.
April 3rd.
Woo! Got it right.
And last
Got
night,
it right. Last night, yesterday, we had double duty yesterday. Obviously, it was Monday, so obviously we had this to lead the week off, and then we had the Monday night Bud and Roach show, which we've changed the format on. Is now just simply kicking back, relaxing, and playing video games, which can be a little bit less relaxing.
I think it was extremely competitive.
It was competitive throughout. We let off the evening, obviously, with me and Cheese playing some zombies. Cheese leading me through the zombies, which we got pretty far on, considering that I don't play that one. I'm not as big a fan.
This is the PS4 one for the
PS4,
people
World War II, Call of Duty World War II zombies. It's not as, I don't want to say, it's so much more in depth. It's so much more. So much more going on than it used to be. It's so much more complex than to simply turn on the power, figure out what you got to, turn on to get the pack-a-punch machine on, buy your perks and stay alive.
But that just goes to show how iconic the PS3 version is.
Yeah, that
should set the standard for zombies.
It did.
People don't even want to play the PS4 version.
I mean, here's the thing. You have to think of the fact that it was originally just an Easter egg, an add-on. You had to beat the game originally, the original Call of Duty World at War.
That's how viral it went.
I remember I had it for the Xbox 360. I've been playing the campaign. That's one of the few Call of Duties I could say I jumped to the online mode before I played campaign. I love that online mode in that World at War. And you told me, my boy told me there's this hot zombie game at the end after you beat the game. Like you gotta end it on any difficulty level, and then after you beat it, it go play through the credits, watch all the credits, and then you wake up in a zombie house, and you just in a house you gotta keep boarding up and fighting zombies. And I'm like, that don't make no sense in Call of Duty, but I'm like, it does make sense that they'd hide something like that at the end of the game though. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll try.
There's a bunch of games like that though.
There are.
That started way back. Even I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 for Sega Genesis the other day, and there's a certain I know the blood code is ABAC ABB, and the cheat code is down up left left A right down. When you do the down up left left A right down, they give you 10 flags. If you trigger certain flags, certain boards that you play, if you get flawless victory and fatality, you face Reptile at the bottom of the pit.
Yeah.
And most people don't even know. People thought that Reptile was an add-on character that came on games later. I was like, nah, he was in the first one.
I didn't know that.
He was in the first one.
Yeah, man. It's just like when but that's something I was talking to Drew about. There's not really cheat codes in games anymore nowadays.
Now it's just patches.
Nah, not even. I mean, that's what you got to get online. But console games, you have to unlock stuff. It's not really remember how before we would wait for every month Game Pro or Game Informer to go to the back of the book, see what games that month had new cheats coming out.
Damn, what happened
and
to that?
It doesn't
is that
exist.
magazine still around?
Game Pro, I don't know. Game Informer, yes. I don't even know about Electronic Gaming Monthly. I think that might be Can too. I know Game Informer for a fact because they do a lot of stuff with GameStop. GameStop, which I reluctantly gave my business to.
I think you got a good deal though.
I did. I got a fantastic deal. That's why I'm not complaining.
$250 for Xbox One.
Yeah, Xbox One, 1 terabyte.
That's not bad. I think they stopped cheat codes though because they realized that they needed to monetize things and
they wanted to
upsell every single thing.
Microtransactions, I think. Microtransactions are, I don't want to say the wave of the future, but are what are driving businesses right now. And it's ruining a lot of games. A lot of people were very turned off by there's a big thing about the last Star Wars game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, because a lot of people said how much money they were spending on that throughout the game and weren't getting what they wanted from those loot boxes. And then congressional people were saying, that buying those boxes those drop crates Cheese talk about you could buy.
This was a regular platform?
This was PlayStation 4. Star Wars Battlefront 2. And there's other games Call of Duty World War II has it too. And they call microtransactions. You could buy these crates and it's they say it's like gambling. because you're really giving them money, and it's a chance. It's a chance game to see what you can
That's
get.
crazy.
And
I know whoever invented that at the boardroom meeting, they got a nice bonus at the end of the year.
It started with the phone games, the freemium games, and now it's just made its way over to here. You look at all the DLC content, where it's really like they're not releasing games in their entirety anymore.
It's like I was talking to this yesterday. I don't know if you was in the studio when I was talking about this, but I was talking about this with Gates. It might have been somebody else in there. But Sims free play, like they're doing a lot of these games that they're major games, but they releasing them for free, and then they'll just sell you every single individual piece that you have to use in the game. Like for the Sims,
like you can buy a couch for free,
like
but it's gonna take you forever.
And you'll buy a couch. You'll buy a refrigerator to put in a fake house that you built on their game. Like, the shit is crazy.
But there's people that do that, man. It's crazy. People are happy to do it. They don't realize $2 here, $3 here, $4 here, $5 here. You know,
that shit adds up.
It does.
That shit adds up really
But
quick.
people love playing those games, man, and that's how they get people. It was actually you know what? I hate to do it again. There's a South Park episode. They made fun of it. It's called Freemium Isn't Free. And it's the Canadian, like, you know how they make fun of the Canadians on South Park.
You know, if we wouldn't get flagged, we should have like a segment on this show. Just we saw this on South Park.
Yeah, who knows?
I think there's been about the 10th episode already that we've
that
made
I've referenced. Yeah,
if not South Park, The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
It should be more broad. We saw this in
American Dad. Yeah, I saw this watching an animated show, Bob's Burgers. I saw this watching a show, 30 Rock, the Harvey Weinstein thing. Like, that was crazy. And when I looked to when that air date was, that episode aired, and I want to say 2012.
2012?
That episode I told you about. That was 5 years before what happened.
They've been talking about Weinstein for a long time.
5 years before what happened. You think about Entourage, Harvey Weingard.
Weingard, yeah.
And
Dirty Birdie.
Yeah. You absolutely know who that was based on, and that was even earlier. That's more than 10 years ago.
My whole life, I never had a fucking cranberry. And you think I just walked in
here and ordered
cranberry juice?
No, don't take it back. I want you to fucking tell me that I didn't fucking order cranberry.
Hey, shit, that's a nice shot right there. I'm just gonna throw a piece. No
blue steel. You don't want him with a little blue steel?
A little blue steel. All right, 3, 2, 1. There it is. We just needed that one shot. That's probably gonna be the icon for the episode. That's gonna be the
blue
snap.
steel.
Man, it feels kind of it feels weird because Danny.
Yeah, there's no Danny, man. There's no.
Danny went back home. He
Echo chimes in from the.
From behind the barista.
Yeah, from the barista area, man. Feels
Is that
weird.
Barista bar.
Yeah, I guess the barista bar. What we call that, Maddie? The coffee bar, because there's an actual bar behind it too.
And Maddie's doing double time today.
Yes. What we consider that back there, Maddie?
I don't know. I guess just the coffee bar.
The coffee bar.
No,
yeah.
We got that good. Can we get a wave? Can we get a wave before you get caught up?
Yeah.
We don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose the wave today. There
Might
she
have
is.
a chance. Hey, Maddie. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
The weather's better today. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yes. And we appreciate you doing this for us every day like you do.
We love you so much.
Thank you, Maddie.
You too.
God damn. So can we talk about this lady that shot this dude in the fucking head?
Yeah, let's talk about this, man.
Cassandra Demper.
That's her name?
That's the lady's name. The guy's name was Devin Holmes. If you guys didn't see the video, we're not gonna play the video. I'm sick of
I don't want to see it. I saw it once and it was that was enough for me.
I tortured myself yesterday.
I saw somebody, Lorenzo shared something in one of our before you go into this, one of our group chats on Instagram, man. I couldn't tell because the way the guy's body was like through the roof, I couldn't make it out. I mean, through the windshield. I couldn't tell if it looked like he crashed, but there was no damage to the car. So it had to have been he jumped off the roof, like a roof of a building, and went through the windshield. And someone's there, like, with an Instagram video. Put it on Instagram with this person. Like, he was still, like, struggling. He was alive, but barely. And they put this shit on Instagram. And I'm like, I just saw it. I'm like, why would anyone put this up? And then, like, why would you share this?
Yesterday, when I saw the video, I was on the bus going to the studio when I first saw the video. And it upset me because I've been doing this to myself for too long. I've been looking up fucked up videos for too long since I was a kid, and now I'm like so desensitized to it. I remember when the first beheading video came out. I remember my boy Rick, he told me to fix his laptop, and I'm fixing his laptop, and he has downloaded a bunch of like terrorist beheading videos, and I'm like watching that shit, alone.
That's crazy.
In a room, and I'm repeating it over and over, and every time I watched it, I felt less nervous about watching it. And now when I saw that shit yesterday, I was just like, this is something we got to talk about.
I mean, it's crazy because it looks like they're trying to do it for shock value. Why are you just sitting a gun there? Why is the safety not on? And this is what happens when I don't know what it is. I want to say it doesn't look like, it doesn't. How you point a gun at somebody and pull the trigger from that close? Like, you can't call that a mistake. That's not an accident. That seems premeditated.
And what's funny is that right before the trigger was pulled, he asked her. He was like, "Where you from again?" So it wasn't even like they were close friends.
Yeah.
It looked like his boy was in the back, and she was just a tag along.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people especially on social media, everybody's saying the same thing. That was premeditated.
That was premeditated.
There was no way that she just accidentally shot him
in the face,
and then ran back into the car, because they're charging her with tampering with evidence because she ran back into the car and tried to wipe her prints. You was
like
on Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Idiots, bro. Like, I mean, and then doing this shit on live, like, and then the
it's retarded, bro.
I don't want to say the premise, but the rise of live social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything that Periscope, all these apps, Snapchat, everything that allows you to go live. Very little good comes from it. Very few people use it as something good, as a reason to be live, showing people live something happening live that you only see live in that moment. Instead, you have people that are going there, sit for 40 minutes on their phone, just.
That's it. 1,001 pictures. You could keep it going too.
Yeah, and
that's
40 minutes, just like that.
Is what I get
and
on
I
my
hope you
feed.
realize that I wasn't talking. Like, that wasn't intentional. That is how it goes. Just, hey.
With the same eyes, the puckering lips, licking the lips excessively.
I can't keep that shit up.
Licking the lips excessively.
But that's what it is. Is that not it? Is that not what most people go on, these live social media platforms and do?
The other day when we was doing the mock debate, when we was back at the Harper studio, one of the questions was, I guess, should people be required to be like educated or tested before having children? Should you get a license? I think people need a license for social media.
I think you do, man. With what we see shared,
you need to
man.
earn that shit.
People, I mean, there are grown adults not understanding why sharing explicit, sexually explicit photos, whether they be drawings or black and white abstract, where clearly what's going on, but everything's really blurred enough. But guys, let's be adults here, guys. I know we're all adults, but do we really need to see this every day? And me and Drew were talking about it, joking around the other day while we were both stoned out of our minds playing the game. You know who I'm not saying name, but some of the craziest status updates you would ever see.
Oh
in the
yeah,
world.
that's who I was thinking about right now.
Yo, it's
we don't need to know your sexual desires.
your sexual desires, your sexual wants and needs and conquests, and what you're willing to do to facilitate them.
And we don't need the pictures that associate with.
Oh man, once you get once you get that image in your head, man, there is something I do not want the graphic image and then you're creating it for yourself because the words did it to the words were enough, and it's oh my god,
just because it's him saying it, you can imagine him saying what he wrote, and it already makes you kind of cringe. But then when the photos are attached, and it's just dude, what is this? This is Facebook, bro.
This is Facebook. Chicks with
do you understand that when you post a photo on Facebook, you give them legal rights to use your photos
on anything?
They can take your shit and make
I think people feel
want.
now deleting Facebook matters. Yo, you're still using Instagram, you're still using Snapchat, you're still using WhatsApp,
and your shit is already on the cloud.
They got it all.
It's already on.
They
the cloud.
have it all. There's no getting off the grid at this point.
You cannot get off the grid.
You might be able to disappear for a couple months if you try really hard, but for the most part, they got you. They got us all. Zuckerberg and them, they got us.
There was a point in time years ago when even the mainstream media was, you know, going out of their way to hide the RFID chip and all of that stuff that we've been talking about. But they don't even need that shit anymore because it's here.
It's in your phone.
It's in your phone. It's in your wallet. It's in shit, man.
It's in your bank card. It's in your new credit cards. It's everywhere.
They track every single thing that you do.
RFID chips. Every RFID chip is trackable.
But the ones that they were planning on inputting into people's bodies had the cyanide, so that if you refuse something,
it's like, hey, we'll trigger. Beep. Self-destruct sequence activated.
He dies.
Man, yo, 2 weeks ago, man, that was on, man. I was watching that.
What, Rocky 4?
Yeah, they did like a Rocky marathon.
If you could pick one of the Rockies as the best,
that's my favorite.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. I think Rocky 4 is my all-time favorite Rocky.
That's when he goes to fight Drago in Russia.
After Drago kills Apollo Creed. And Rocky knew better, man. Rocky wanted to stop the fight, man. You know what? Rocky also...
Throw in the damn towel!
Throw in the towel, Rock! Throw in the damn towel, Rock! Rock, what do we do?
You could have thrown it in, but...
You could have thrown it in, man. Like Apollo and the towel hit the ground at the same time.
Apollo would have been upset, but he would have been alive to be upset.
He would have been alive. He might have needed
thanked
help.
you, 10 years later.
He might have been punch drunk after, who knows.
He would have told you one day, thank you for throwing in the towel that day. I almost died. I gave up boxing, started doing commentating.
Or he might have actually just wished you thrown in the towel. You ever hear some of these football players that wish you didn't throw in the towel? Some of these football players, like with these head injuries, these old guys, they say the pain they go through, what they did to their bodies back in the day. Some of those guys just, man, I feel for them. Like,
it's a gruesome sport, and the amount of
boxing is too, man. I said in a couple years, man, we're like 5-10 years away from having a really bad, like, major superstar MMA incident, and then everyone's gonna look at it like, is this really better than boxing or football though? Where you're punching and kicking after the person's out until the ref says, all right, shit, clearly they're out. Like, some of these dudes get snored, man.
I think the most gruesome shit that I see in MMA is when someone's leg snaps.
Oh, God.
When their leg snaps right at the shin.
God, you're making me think about when Anderson Silva's broke.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about, too.
Oh, my God.
Or the other one is when Anderson Silva need Rich Franklin. He need him in the face, and his nose went to his eye. It was just the bone,
bro.
This bone right here was like here, and it was just he was breathing sideways.
Oh God,
he was breathing sideways.
Oh man.
And he looked up at the teleprompter because that's what's even more fucked up. After you get your face bashed in, you got to stand in the middle of the ring and wait for them to announce the winner.
Punched the dude's ear off,
and the guy's ear popped. The shit just popped, and that's what happens when you get cauliflower ear. Like you got to get that shit drained. When you get cauliflower ear, that your shit is inflated. See, I got a nice ear because I've never been punched into my fucking ear. You punch your ear, and that whole shit is just gonna start swelling up. You got to take a needle and drain that shit.
You have to go to the doctor, man. That you don't do that yourself. But dude, that ear pop, bro. Oh God.
I got a good ear.
Thinking about it,
I was
man.
thinking about actually getting gauges. I want to
mean,
get some gauges, some small gauges.
Nah, I'm good. I was thinking about another brutal one when what Holly Holm did to Ronda Rousey, that kick.
She got slept by the kick, and then she got slept by the fall.
Yeah, the fall, and then tried to rush up, and boom.
There's been some. You got to go back. If you go back to the early days of MMA, that's before there was even regulation.
Yeah.
Before there was regulation, before there was even weight classes. They'll put a 500-pound dude in there with somebody that's 140. And the dude that weighed 140 won.
Then, I mean,
he ran around till dude got tired, started kicking him in the knee.
That's that Brazilian jiu-jitsu, man, that Muay Thai.
That's why I love watching Joe Rogan because obviously, he commentates for for UFC, so he's constantly like teaching me the terminology. Like I know wrestling terminology. I don't know like what the fuck a Kimura is. I want to start learning all that shit.
I know that's some sort of a hold. I'm trying to remember which way. Is that a back hold?
Like a triangle choke. There's a few of them that we know through wrestling. It's just like because they were implemented into wrestling moves.
They have like nobody really does the crippler crossface, but
Is that really an MMA move though?
The way like that like face lock, yeah.
We gotta like check to see if anybody's ever actually done that shit in MMA and got away with it. Like,
Ronda
saw
Rousey
somebody
was
do a
famous
sweet
for the
chin music.
armbar. Huh?
I saw somebody actually do sweet chin music
MMA?
in MMA, and it worked. And what made it even worse was that the dude was like running and jumping like almost like a Superman punch.
Oh man,
And
those are the worst.
He just caught him.
Those are the worst. I wouldn't.
His eyes rolled to the
That's
back
one
of
of
his
those
head.
things I wouldn't want to do, man. Is like be a like combat sports. I wouldn't do it, man. Like I wouldn't put my body through that. I wouldn't allow that to happen to my face. Like you're not beating me senseless. Like I'm not gonna get beat like senseless on camera for everyone to see. Like nah.
For a small ass
I
paycheck
think I'll,
to split with the promoters.
Yeah, like, and I think that's why. Like, I understand why people get mad at like the Brock Lesnar's and the CM Punks who could jump back and forth. Like Brock suspended from UFC for what 2 years because he tested positive anti-doping for doping, and then you know, you could just jump to WWE and make all that money and then come right back. Like Dana White's been talking about him coming back again recently.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar's not only is he a freak of nature, but he's probably the only person that could make that transition as smooth as he has.
Yeah, and it hasn't even really
Nobody
been all
else.
that smooth. He's taking some beatings.
Oh, he's taking beatings, but his bank account hasn't.
His bank account hasn't. No, he hasn't. His ego clearly hasn't either.
And on top of that, he got Paul Heyman.
We got Paul Heyman.
Have a good
Have
day.
a good night, guys. Thanks for stopping
It's a
in.
good night, good day, bro. It's a morning show.
Yeah, morning show. We're still adjusting.
We're still in last night mode.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar, man. But I get why people are upset, man. CM Punk got destroyed that first match. I think he's gonna get destroyed this one. He's not. First off, at his age, bro, you don't make this jump at what you've done at your age. You're an okay athlete compared to these guys. Yes, you're clearly trained, but you weren't really fighting. You were, but these guys were. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you were fighting, but it was scripted. It was real blows sometimes. These guys are real blows, real all the time. No, all right, I'm going to let you do this. You do this to me. We script this out, fall here, there, that. No. That wasn't how it was going. Those guys, no one in that organization other than Dana White. I don't even think Dana White takes CM Punk seriously.
He took the marketing money seriously.
Yeah.
He knew that transition was going to be a good payday. And that's why even like now, when there was somebody else, I don't know if it was from wrestling or something, they wanted to fight and do like a dream match, and they chose CM Punk again just because they know if he comes back to MMA, regardless of the fact that he got his ass whooped the last time, people are still going to tune in.
Gonna tune in. I mean, but I think that's the thing too. Win or lose, he's gonna make more than a guy who beats him.
And CM Punk.
And why do you want to do that? Like, it's not
thing about
is it really boosting your career to beat this middle and whatever he is? No, it's not. So why do I want to fight you, make less money than you after I beat you, and all people are gonna talk about is the fact that you lost, not the fact that I beat you? Why would I want to? And that's where Dana White is wrong.
If they smart, I think CM Punk should go back to WWE.
Vince don't want him or need him.
The crowd wants him. The crowd needs him. Vince needs to start paying attention to the crowd again.
I think Vince does,
maybe
but
wrestling would start being
I think
great
Vince
again.
does, but I think Vince holds the keys to the castle there. And before CM Punk makes his way back to WWE, I think Vince will freeze him out long enough that he may have to make that TNA stop.
I don't know.
The
only reason I'll say I don't know is because there's been people don't even know his real name. James Hellwig, that's the Ultimate Warrior, who changed his name to the Ultimate Warrior. He had a long, like a 10-year legal battle with Vince. They threw bash campaigns. Vince even went out of his way to produce that documentary called The Destruction of Ultimate Warrior, where he had all the wrestlers just clown him. And right before he died, they inducted him into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Died like a week later.
He died the next day.
The next day, right?
It was the next day. The whole weekend, it was Saturday was the Hall of Fame. Sunday was WrestleMania.
He died.
Monday he gave his speech, and then Tuesday he was dead.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Randy, did Savage go in? He finally put Savage in the Hall of Fame, right?
I don't know. I could check.
I think he just recently did it. I think Macho Man recently went into the Hall of Fame.
He should, man. Like, fuck. That guy, he wasn't as successful as Hogan in the movies, but I think his roles were iconic.
Bonesaw is ready.
That alone, I think, topped anything that Hogan ever did in film.
Macho Man ever make the Hall of Fame? What the fuck is this?
This is
Why
the.
is it?
See, that's the problem. Is that when you start downloading shit on the laptop, it'll install some plugins that
I
changes.
don't like those. I hate it that you can't like adjust those. You can't turn them off.
I gotta try, man. Cause this shit, Randy Savage Hall of Fame. Yeah,
Yeah,
2015.
he went in. Okay. Well, and then there was the stories about why. See, Vince keeping him and freezing him out. If those stories were true, I can understand that.
If the stories were true, and for the people who don't know, there were
Allegedly.
rumors. There was
Allegedly.
rumors back in the day that Macho Man and
Something-
Stephanie McMahon
There's
had
some sort of inappropriate something happened.
behavior.
Something inappropriate that Vince McMahon really didn't like, and that really, I don't want to say ruined Macho Man's career, but definitely I don't even want to say sent it into a downward spiral because he had some good opportunities in WCW.
He had a bunch of runs.
But I definitely want to say maybe hurt the trajectory somewhat.
He probably just went into her dressing room and said, "Bonesaw's ready."
Bonesaw's
That's where-
ready.
That's where he got the line from.
Yeah,
That's where he got the fucking line from. Later, bro.
Oh man, but yes. What were we even talking about before that? Who was that? CM Punk. Back to CM Punk. I think that with what he did, the way he left WWE, and really thought him leaving WWE would hurt it. I think maybe the overall product, maybe, but they haven't been hurt financially. And I don't think it's gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna. No MMA guy is gonna jump at a shot to fight him. Nobody.
So it says here he earned $500,000 for that bullshit fight that
to
he
get
lost.
knocked out to 2 minutes and 14 minutes into
2 minutes and
14
14
seconds into the opening round to get choked out.
Let's get a shot of this. We can't. I muted the audio just because they're assholes. But for a debut WWE superstar to fight in the MMA and make $500,000 to get choked out,
2 minutes, and then look at how long.
sign
it took.
me up.
Look at how long it took to even get someone that wanted to fight him. Like no one respects the way he came into MMA. You look at how some of these guys had to come up through MMA. None of these guys respect it. None of these guys respect that you think that you're a real fighter. I mean, I think he could whoop my ass. I'll say that right now. I think CM Punk could beat my ass, but you're not gonna beat any of them UFC guys' asses. You beat me up, and for you beating me up for saying you can't beat them up, I hope one of them beat you up, which they're gonna do again and again until Dana White realizes, right, this guy can't really fucking fight. Get him out of here. But I mean, while he's still a draw, put him in there. I think Ronda Rousey making the flip the other way was good for her. She lost her confidence in the ring. I think that, and I don't think
a nice ass whooping.
no.
After she
I think
kept
the
running her
second
mouth.
one, they stopped too soon, and I think that ruined it for her. I don't think that she thought she was done. She got stunned pretty early. Give her a chance. You let her take a bit of a beating in that first one. Let her fight.
I think the problem with Ronda Rousey was that she was too marketable. And I say
She was very marketable. She was very headstrong. She was outspoken.
She was too marketable, meaning that she wasn't just a fighter. She could also be a swimsuit model. She could also be an actress. People looked at
I
her
don't
in
think there's
that
no
light.
such thing as too marketable.
I think so.
No,
When
no.
you're a fighter,
Nah, there's no such thing as too marketable.
no, there's a difference between someone getting press and headlines for knocking people the fuck out and somebody getting the front page because they're sexy. And
I
they're a
mean, but she
superstar.
was dominating the manner in which she was winning some of those fights.
And the manner in which she lost.
The manner in which she lost, though. But she fought. She was a fighter, and she was outspoken
Yeah,
about
but
being
look
a
at-
fighter.
look at-
But
look at-
hold
look
on.
at the press conferences leading up to that-
all right,
to that
but
Holly
leading
Holmes
up
fight.
to that fight. But that was what all her press conference were like. She said, "I'm confident. I'm cocky. I'm going out there to do this," and that's who she was. And she lost.
Yeah,
She
but
accepted the loss.
you cannot let the media blow your head up when
No,
you're fighting
no one-
jobbers.
No,
You're fighting
not
jobbers.
you weren't fighting jobbers. She was fighting the best in the company at the time. No one. I don't think anyone's gonna
That's
call.
bullshit.
Who's the girl who just Misha Tate? Nobody's calling Misha Tate. Are you calling Misha Tate a jobber?
You talking about
Ronda Rousey fought her twice. on her come
I
up.
thought, I thought
No.
that was a real
Is
name for
anybody-
somebody else.
no.
Who's Cyborg?
Chris Cyborg. Because neither one of them would agree. Like, if I'm Ronda Rousey, I'm not going up to Chris Cyborg's division. Like, Chris Cyborg's like 20 pounds heavier than her. What the fuck am I going to put on 20 pounds? I have to now figure out how to work, build this stamina up to have it on me, and then have you beat me. I'm not going to get beat in the face by Chris. You know, Holly Holm, you know, shout out to Holly Holm. She's not really a MMA fighter, but she's gone out and, you know, and fought. She's lost her last couple, but she keeps fighting. She lost to Holly Holm. Took a pretty bad beating, but she moved up.
I thought she was. I feel like
Kat,
she
that girl, go back. I can never get her name right.
Kat Zingano.
Her. She's not a jobber. Beth Correa. None of those were jobbers. Like, she fought people that had talent. She was just at what she did. She knew how to win the fight the way she wanted to.
Let's see if we can get the record.
Well, she ended up 12-2, something like that.
These are just pay-per-view bouts.
Go up top. It was up top. It would have been up top. All the way up.
It was at the top?
Yeah, it'll show it all the way up top. Keep going. It's right. It'll be right there. 12-2.
I don't know. To me, that's not an impressive record.
In MMA, it is. In MMA, in a short amount of time she did, from 2001 to when she lose, 2014?
Jesus Christ, why the fuck this shit gotta pop up?
I mean, 2011. 2011 to 2014, 15, she went 12-2. She won her first 12. And she won about 5 or 6 of those in less than a minute.
But all that fire, all that intensity, and now I'm gonna be a wrestler. Like, if you was a real fighter, then you just take that shit like Rocky. You go to the mountains, you train, you come back, and you whip ass.
Now I can say she doesn't need to. She's crossed over. What do I need to? I've already set the records. What do I need to keep fighting for? Now I can get my paydays. She's made her Hollywood paydays. She's going to keep making Hollywood paydays. And WWE needed marketability. And the way they've pushed the women's division, it's a good look for Ronda. I think people, I don't know, man. People are judging that. I feel you're judging that way too harshly. Way too harshly. She's earned the right. I think after what she did to UFC, she put the UFC women's division on. If not for her,
because she was pretty.
But not because she was pretty, because she dominated it.
She had those fights because she was pretty.
No, because she won.
Was marketable.
Because she won. So you're saying she had no fighting talent?
But
like, yo,
no,
this
I'm
is
not saying.
stupid.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she don't have no fighting talent. I'm not saying she don't have no fighting talent.
She was fucking pretty.
I'm saying she got the fights because she was pretty.
No, she got the fights because she fucking got there.
Look how many other women are in the MMA.
All right,
that complain.
But how many were in the MMA at that time? There were
that complain that have better records than she has.
No,
that never got those fights.
It doesn't. That never got those fights. You didn't have division to push it. You can't get there without her. They got there because of her. You give it to her.
She was
just
the
like
Hulk Hogan.
All the WWE
but she was Hulk Hogan.
WWE.
If she was Hulk Hogan for the women's industry, then she's not the greatest wrestler of all time. She was just the most marketable.
I didn't say she was the greatest. I said she's earned it, and she earned the right, and she set records. And the man in which she did them was dominant, and she wasn't fighting jobbers. She was fighting the best in that division at that time. If the other women,
you should watch more women fight.
No,
watch other women fight.
No, listen, the ones that were in the MMA in her division. What is she gonna go up or down to that weight class?
Way
you come
better
to
fighters
hers.
than her.
If I'm champion, you come to me. If I'm champion and I'm winning, you fucking come to me. I don't go to you. You come to me.
UFC
I'm champion.
is the same politics as WWE, bro. It's the same. It's backstage politics.
No, man.
I watch the interviews.
You're trying to take away that. You're trying to take away.
I watch all the backstage interviews. I watch all the other fighters.
Saying because she's hot, and that's the reason. That's the
reason she got the place in the first place.
She got what?
She got a chance.
It had nothing to do with her winning
her getting on the main card.
To the Olympics.
Bro, if she
did
looked
she get
ugly,
to the Olympics because she was hot? But did she win at the Olympics because she was hot? Did she get to the Olympics and win because she was hot? Answer me that. That got her on. That got her on. That got her on, and that's what That's what got her on. That's what got her on. That they said, hey, shit, she's kind of feisty. She has a spirit. Man, she already knows a fighting style that goes here, and that's what did her in. If you want to know, to me, what did her in is that she never learned how to strike. She was always grappling, submissions, lock them out. She could get you in a lock and a hold fast, and no matter what, a lot of people came out with the Holly Holm, and what was the girl who beat her? I always get her name wrong, not Beth Correa. Who was the last girl who beat her? God, I always get her name wrong, and people made fun of her. I could never get her name. Amanda Nunes. When Holly Holmes and Amanda Nunes beat her. They came out with striking. And I said going into the Holly Holm fight to everybody who thought about it, when I saw it with the Fox Sports, when they were doing their thing on the 24/7 leading up to the fight, I'm looking at Holly Holm. This is my first time seeing her, and I'm thinking, I told a couple people, I'm looking at her striking and the way she was winning in kickboxing. I told everybody, Ronda can't keep up with her striking, and that's what's going to do her in. And what did her in? A kick to the head. She couldn't get back up, and she got a couple punches, and then she was down. She was done. And I'll say that. She beat her. Holly Holm beat her. And she went into that fight. She had been dominant. Her head was, when you're that dominant, people don't come. People will tell you how it feels to lose like that. You'll hear any athlete. Look at Derek Jeter when the Yankees lost Game 7 in the 2001 World Series and the manner in which they lost that. That's not his fault. He couldn't get to that flare over his head. And it's not his fault that Mo blew the game. But he was sitting in that dugout crying because he had a chance on that on that play when Tony Womack stole second to make the tag and cover the base, and Tony Womack slid through him and hurt his knee, and he still stayed out there. And he sat in that dugout crying, and that's why he was crying. Not because of the manner in which you lose. And that's why athletes and competitors like that get like that. She went all that time. That's a competitive spirit. That's a competitive spirit. And saying she only got on because of her looks, son, that's crazy, B. To me, that's crazy. To me, that's wild.
I think it's crazy that your main source of news is ESPN and all these other major outlets.
No, I read other places. I read more than that. That's why I watch. That's why I go to watch my highlights.
If she won the Olympics and didn't look the way she looked, she wouldn't have jumped to be a headliner. There was a huge jump.
It's not her fault. Other people have done it. Kurt Angle did it. Did anybody know Kurt Angle in wrestling? But he did it and went right into WWE.
You know, Kurt Angle's a different story.
No, why is it a different story?
Because he went into a scripted format.
All right, but what does it matter? She went into real fights and won real fights. He was scripted to win. She went in and won real fights. Yo, trying to say, like you're taking away from the women she beat and you're taking away from what she did.
No, I'm exposing UFC politics because Dana White and all the people that I watch the backstage interviews and understand the politics that goes behind it.
But here you are just giving CM Punk credit for the same thing the other way. And
CM Punk is a wrestler.
Nowhere near the talent. He has nowhere near the talent.
All I said was that CM Punk was a payday.
A payday. And Ronda Rousey was at least a chance to get your name out there.
And that's why he never came back.
Ronda Rousey's a chance to get his name. They're still trying to book him another fight. They keep reporting he's looking for anyone that'll fight this guy. And no one will because you're not going to make anywhere near the money. You're going to dominate him and then go back to wherever you were while this guy gets to make another $500,000 payday and he'll have made $1 million.
It's going to end up being another celebrity.
Huh?
It's going to end up being another
It's going to need to be somebody else because there's no one that'll fight him. And then what does that do to UFC's credibility? What does that do to UFC's credibility if you brought this guy on and you're still going to give him that big of a purse to have a mock fight? A mock fight? Because he doesn't. Because no, hold on. Because you brought him in and he doesn't have the real talent. She can go the other way because that's scripted and she has that right. And I'm gonna tell you, she lost her fighting spirit. Once you get the movies, Entourage, what she do, Fast 7, all those movies she did. All others weren't they supposed to be remaking like Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze Roadhouse, where she's Patrick Swayze the pouncer or whatever. Like they're supposed to be redoing all these movies. Like eventually that starts to wear on you. You see that with people, and we say it like with comedians. You see it when comedians hit and their stand-up stops being as funny, but their movies are hitting. Their movies are still good. Like that's what happens. She had her fight. She earned it. In that little bit of time, she went 12-0 before she lost those 2 fights. And the manner in which she lost them. So she earned it.
So if we somehow got paperwork that showed that UFC still gets paid off of the movies, the WWE, everything Ronda Rousey in perpetuity,
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
Would it not have been in their best interest to maybe not bank on her being the greatest woman fighter of all times as they portrayed her to be at that time?
She was
the most marketable
at that time.
And they shot her
MMA,
up to the charts.
In MMA, we're
so
not
that
talking
she can branch
boxing,
off.
we're not talking anything else. In MMA, she was the best at that time. At that time, she was the best in the world at that time in MMA.
But they weren't banking on longevity. That's why they pushed her as hard as they did.
Now, who's to say that
because
they do
now
that?
they got the movie deal money. Now they got the WWE money coming in, and they're making licenses.
I don't think that they had all that, and I don't think they thought that early. And if the people around her did, they didn't allow that because she had a lot of that fight like a girl stuff. She didn't have all that UFC stuff, all those like marketing deals she got. She said they helped her with a couple of them. I think the ones they helped her with maybe, but I don't think they have the hand in everything she's done.
Let's see.
I don't think that's gonna be online. I mean, they're still gonna make money, but I don't think they make money off her going to the going back to WWE. They don't make money off everything she does. Whatever she did for UFC at the time. That's not the way everyone's contract goes. If you sign that contract, yeah. But I don't think they signed her thinking, yeah, let's throw a lot of money at her here, guys, and she's gonna be this huge, worldwide star. I don't think Dana White would have thought to do that, and his board at the time would have allowed him to. They didn't have the money. They couldn't bank on that. So I think she got a good deal. Yes, better than the other women fighters at the time. Sorry, she came in. Sorry, that's the way it goes. What's she supposed to do? I'm the best. What am I supposed to do? Take less because I'm the best? I'm supposed to fight for what you get? No. If I'm coming in and they want to pay me more, I'm going to take more.
Yeah, but even if you look at shows like American Idol, when contestants go in there, you basically sign in a document. If you become that person that they're featuring every time, you're giving away a certain percentage in perpetuity, even if it's small. If they didn't do that, then there was a fuck up on their part.
No, there's not, because you don't do that with every player. You don't do that with everyone.
You do that with the people that you make front and center. That's
She
like
wasn't
that's like
and
Hulk
she
Hogan.
wasn't front and center early. And before she signed with UFC, she was fighting with a smaller, I can't even remember, was it Strikeforce, WEC? One of those smaller ones, and I think when they absorbed them, they absorbed her contract with it. So you have to ask yourself, did Strikeforce, when they signed Ronda Rousey, have the money to do that if they got absorbed by UFC? Whoever she was originally signed to is how she got into UFC. And then they brought her in. After they absorbed them, they kept like the Strikeforce thing separate. Before they absorbed everybody and gave them UFC contracts.
It's like Vince.
So you have to ask yourself, when Vince brought WCW and ECW, did everybody get contracts? Hell no. A lot of them got to work for the Invasion angle. You can stay. Everybody else get the fuck out. How is that not pretty much what happened after Invasion?
Yeah.
All right then. I'm offended by what you said about Ronda Rousey there.
Fuck you, bro.
That
I'm
was
offended you was
said,
yelling at me on the air over
I'm
Ronda
sorry,
Rousey.
that's crazy. What you said about her was crazy. Like you essentially said because she was hot, that's why she got.
If she was, I said if she wasn't marketable, they wouldn't have pushed her as hard as they did.
But you said her marketability came behind her being hot, not her personality, not anything else. You said hot, not
if it was about personality, why was she doing swimsuit cover? Like
I think that all wraps into one
personality.
There's an article behind it. Yeah, there's a photo shoot, but do you read the article?
Please,
there's a photo
bro.
shoot, but there's an article. A journalist does talk to her and then put these things out. There is an article attached to all of these in magazines.
You brought up Amanda Nunes. Watch the Amanda Nunes interview when she says that I was better than Ronda Rousey back then. I'm better than Ronda Rousey now, and they never gave me a push. They never even wanted to give me a shot because of the way because she had a man
Let's
jaw.
look at this. Who did she lose to after that, and then she hasn't fought again? Because she stupid infections. Come on, man. Like yo. Like people, I can get why you want to go at Ronda Rousey. I get why all the NBA, like old school guys, are mad at LeBron and the new school guys. I get it. I get it all. But listen, you ain't get your shot. Her getting her shot put the women's division on. Trish Stratus, leader, China, all those, they owe what what they owe to like Fabulous Moolah, Lula Vachon, what's the other one?
Luna Vachon.
Who's the other one with Fabulous Moolah?
Mae Young.
Mae Young. What they owed them, and like how these current girls, like how the current women's division, Becky Lynch, what's her name? All these current Paige, all these what they owe, like Trish Stratus, is what these guys owe them, like earlier guys. Like this is what they owe Ronda Rousey. Like the way they owe, like what she had to do, you owe being on now and getting the money you get, and there being multiple women's division championships, multiple different women's weight classes instead of one. You owe to Ronda Rousey. You owe to Ronda Rousey's marketability. Had it not been for Ronda Rousey's marketability, there may not be a real women's division in UFC. God knows where you have to fight. And God knows the type of contracts you begin and how you begin stiffed. So if you do want to complain about, maybe the fact that you don't get what Ronda Rousey got, didn't get what like the type of money Ronda Rousey got, but you got opportunities because of Ronda Rousey. You got more than what you likely would have gotten without Ronda Rousey. So I think, take it how you may. It's kind of like, you know what I'll give you? The Jackie Robinson argument. I'm going to give you an argument. You know how I love this about baseball. You know how many black baseball players from the Negro League said Jackie Robinson wasn't the best player, the best black player that should have gone to the major leagues first? There's a guy. You ever heard of Josh Gibson? No, not Josh Gibson.
No.
Is it Josh Gibson? Yeah, Josh Gibson. I'm thinking of Bob Gibson, the pitcher. You ever heard of Josh Gibson?
No.
They used to call Babe Ruth the white Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson is considered one of the greatest like hitters ever. Played in the Negro leagues. Some people say because they never really tracked his stats. There's people say that across his career he hit over 800 home runs. He was a catcher. He died young in his mid-30s, shortly after Jackie Robinson broke into the major leagues. They say he died. He did have these reports. He had, real mental health issues. But a lot of people say he died of a broken heart. Nah, hold on. But listen, I want to give it to you like this. A lot of people that said Jackie went because Jackie was very marketable, and they knew Jackie would, get it over and, deal with. A lot of people felt Jackie could deal with more than other people. But a lot of people said Josh Gibson was the absolute best black baseball player at that time, and he should have been the one to break the barrier. I want to give you that. Did you ever know that?
I didn't know that.
So, be that as it may, we all know Jackie Robinson. We don't know. Not very many people know Josh Gibson, and not very many people know. Everybody knows the Bambino, the Sultan, the SWAT. Everybody knows Babe Ruth, but a lot of people don't know that at that time, a lot of people called Babe Ruth the White Josh Gibson.
Did you see that? It was on World Star. I forgot, probably like last year. They had released a mini documentary about the dude that was in the early teams with LeBron, and he was supposed to be the one that made it, and he got fucked up. He was like all caught up on drugs and doing street shit.
Nah, I didn't even see it.
Now he's like a street ball legend or some shit like that.
I didn't even see it.
There's a lot of stories like that, bro.
There is, man.
But I'm glad you acknowledged that her marketability.
Her marketability, I'm not saying it didn't play a part, but you're taking away from her actual athletic ability, her actual what she did.
You can't take away from her athletic ability because she has the stats.
And I think
she has 12 wins and 2 losses. I think that's saying that she only got that because she's cute. It takes away from how she got on. She could have had the same wins, the same losses, and not have been where she was on the posters.
She was dominant. She was dominant. It was the manner in which she was winning. When you see the way she was winning, she could snap that arm bar. She's snapping arms. You see how many elbows she snapped? How many people's arms she snapped? When I forgot who it was, chick came out, one of when she went like 16, 15 seconds, came out, kneed her right in the face, and she still tried to lock her in, and Ronda flipped over and got it like tied up in that arm bar. We sitting like, what's going on? And it's like, wait, she tapped out? She couldn't tap that fast. It was like 16, 18 seconds.
Yeah, but back to my point.
And she came right,
the point I was trying to make was that when I said that she was too marketable, it meant that at some point, after the swimsuit covers, after she started getting Hollywood looks, it stopped being about fighting.
No,
and that's why she lost.
It didn't stop being about fighting. She was still fighting. She had other things going on.
You cannot tell me all that other shit didn't weigh on her, though.
Her heart isn't in it. I'm not going to say it didn't weigh on her. I'm just going to say your heart isn't in it. That's why I say I don't do stuff when my heart isn't in it. Like when your heart, like, if I'm doing X amount of things that are taking less energy, I don't have to train as hard. I don't have to get beat in the face. I don't have to get beat every day sparring. I don't have to put my body through this. And I'm making X amount of dollars more than I am fighting. I'm promising you, everything else she did. Why would I care about fighting anymore?
Exactly. If you have someone like Nick or Nate Diaz, let's just say, that all they want to do is fight. All they make their money doing is fighting. They don't have any other deals. These guys are fighters. Those guys, it don't matter how many times they lose, they'll get up and they'll fight again. Like they're fighters.
That's what they do. Those are fighters.
They're fighters.
It's kind of like, I hate to say it's kind of like these guys on the Bering Sea. Like you ever watch Deadliest Catch? These old guys, bodies beat to shit, hurt, but the money they make keeps getting them up there. Yeah, these guys make they make for that 6 to 8 weeks. Although they're putting their body through hell. They're working about 2-3 months span in that short time, like hours wise. Like they're going 72, 96 hours without sleep, out there in that cold, in that water, on the sea.
It's like bubblegum shrimp.
They're doing that shit, but they're making, for one season, sometimes they'll make 40, 50,000, and then for the really bad season in the winter in March, they'll make like upwards of 100, 120,000 sometimes. Some guys make 100, depending on the ship, what your quote is, what you bring in.
Too.
But they put their bodies through that. These guys are old as shit. And it's like, how long do you really think you can? And then why would you do that in the longevity you're going to have? That's why you're looking at, I keep telling people, you're looking at NFL players retiring so young recently. How many guys are walking away from the NFL before that big major payday they know they're gonna have, just saying, all right, I've made enough. I've invested. I didn't go spending my money frivolously, buying all the jewelry, cars, clothes, partying, all the women, having a bunch of kids, paying child support and lawyer fees and all this and whatnot. And they're saying to themselves, I made this much. I can take care of my family, invest, do something, and walk away and keep my health. And you're seeing that in the NFL right now. And I think you're gonna keep seeing that more as more knowledge keeps coming about concussions, the rate of concussions, and what concussions actually do to their heads. And then you're gonna see that more, and you're seeing more people walk away from that money. So for those guys, I feel bad that fighting's all those know, like they know. For those people that's all they know, like, cause that's all you know how to do. And after that's done, there's like you see it. Some people say like these guys that all they know is like to be athletes, and then when they retire, you know, you don't have that routine anymore. You just have sitting around the house. What do I do? Well, you have millions of dollars. You're not gonna do something smart with it. You know, it's why it happens, man. You know, some people don't know how to do that. And like, I don't want to say I feel sorry for those guys. They've lived great lives, man. They've accomplished fantastic things. They've seen things in this world some we probably won't ever get to experience. Or, you know, we'll have to work really hard to like they did to where they reached the top, you know, the pinnacle of their field to get there. But it's
they're just not as marketable.
I don't want to say they're not as marketable. I think they are, man. I think who's the one who got suspended twice already for weed? And then still was hitting the vape openly after one of his fights.
For weed?
Yeah, one of the Diaz brothers got
that
suspended.
had to be
one
I think that was
I don't know, Nate, one of them.
Nate. And John Jones got fucking. Did you hear about the thing that he failed his drug test? He's gonna fight Daniel Cormier one more time, and he failed the drug test. And
he beat him again after
when they did the research. He took it was one of those horny goat weed pills. And apparently that they mix that shit in buckets overseas, like just dirty ass buckets that they just make these fake sex pills, these hood Viagras.
It was something stupid, man. People said though, man, the first one,
rhino pill.
the first time he beat Cormier. First off, he beat Cormier twice. I'm gonna say that he beat Cormier decidedly twice. The last one when he came back, I was so excited. I'm not a Daniel Cormier fan. To see him crying after he got beat like that, it warmed my soul. It warmed my soul. I'm a big John Jones fan. I feel bad from the cocaine thing. I can understand people can have a problem. It's an addiction. It's an addictive thing. The second one, the way people said like that were around. Did you read any of those, like the tweets from people who were around who said he was in like a Denny's when he got the news and said the way he broke down?
Yeah.
Because he trained hard, he trained clean, and he knew it had to be something stupid. And they had to go to like a B sample. And he said there wasn't really enough in the B sample for it to really be a problem, but it was. And with his past history, they had to do it. Like, he beat him decidedly. Once on coke, like a coke binge weekend, like he said, I beat him before, like, and I was like coked out of my mind on a coke binge, and I'll beat him again clean. And he beat him decidedly clean last time. Like a horny goat weed, man. All right, you can't take any other stuff. He wanted to put some work in, probably relieve some stress, and you know that was where he had to go. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for. I feel really bad for John Jones, man.
Daniel Cormier crying made you feel good?
Yeah, after the way John Jones beat him, yeah. After all the shit he was talking.
Oh, all right.
After all the shit he was talking, I felt good, man.
I thought you was like sympathizing with him.
Hell no. I wasn't sympathizing. I just said I was happy John Jones whipped his ass. I was glad to see John Jones beat the shit out of him.
Even on the Joe Rogan podcast, Joe Rogan was saying when he interviewed him and he saw he was crying, like, you signed up to be a fighter.
I mean, but that just goes to show. I mean, his heart's in it. He lost. He thought he wanted to win.
If you cry with the belt around your waist. Nah,
he's crying because he lost. He put a lot into it. He ran his mouth, talked a lot of shit, and you just got your ass beat by somebody you made fun of for having a drug problem and who beat you in the middle of a drug problem last time and then beat you decidedly again. Like, and not like, like you tapped out. The ref had to jump in and save your ass. Like, John Jones whooped his. You know what? I kind of want to go off air and watch that fight now. Just to watch the way that Bones Jones beat the shit out of him at the end, down the stretch. Like, I was at work too. I was at work at DMB in the Palisades. Bella's little brothers were there. I was watching it with them. And like, I kept going back and forth. I was like, yo, it's getting kind of busy. I got to stay over there on the other side, man. And I'm sitting down at the game watching it, man. And once he started to dominate, man, I jumped up and I'm just, finish him, get it, do it. Yo, and people looking at me like, yo, ain't this motherfucker working? Like, yo, what's this thing? Like, yo, what's he doing? Like, and I'm just at the top of my lungs yelling. And then after he finished, I went over there, I'm like, what I tell you? I'm like, what I told you? I told you he's gonna finish. I told you he was gonna finish. Like, yo, like, I was happy to see Jones just beat the fuck out of him, bro.
I don't like Daniel Cormier at all, bro.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
To me, he's bougie, bro.
He's one of those guys that I've always trained. I've always done the right thing, and I'm happy to be here. I mean,
he wears short sleeve polos that are fitted.
Yeah.
And like, come on, let's not do that.
And I'm gonna say the right thing. I'm gonna keep saying that. You can say the right. You can be a good person and still be a bit of an asshole, man. No, man.
I'm taking my family to church on Sunday.
Like,
We're
man,
gonna pray.
I don't know what it is. He's one of those guys, man. He has. You said this while we were playing the game yesterday about Chris Bosh after we had said about
one of those guys you look at and you just want to punch him right in the
face.
fucking mouth.
That's what Cormier's face has. Even though he could probably break us in half, he has the face that makes you want to punch him, right in it.
I gotta pull this up.
And
bro. This was today's episode, bro. Damn, where's the fucking picture, bro? This shit's gonna load up. God damn it. Show the picture. Man, this shit. Come back to us. I'll let you know when it's loaded up. It's this fucking Yahoo search bullshit, bro.
It's fucking bullshit search engines, man.
This is.
Why don't you try Bing?
Nah, we don't do Bing, bro. I haven't even heard Bing in so long.
Are they even still up?
This was definitely today's episode. Let's get a shot of this. Yeah, I told you, you remind me of Stephen A. Smith when you start talking this shit, bro. And I'm just sitting there like Max Kellerman wishing I was in the ring and somebody else. Like, HBO, bring me back.
Yo, just look at his face, bro. Look at Kellerman's face. Like, damn, I should just shut up.
This is First Take with Bud and Roach.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
I love you, bro, but I can't take you when people insult sports stars.
Nah, bro.
Unfairly.
You're taking insulting sports stars as insulting the way sports stars are handled by organizations. And that, to me, was the issue that I had. I felt she became a victim of her own fame before she became a great fighter. Yeah, she had great wins.
She was never going to learn striking, man. And that's the thing. Like, that's what everyone said.
She got too famous too fast.
Nah, she's a fighter who was in her way. She's a thrower. She's a grappler. Like, it's like that's her strength. Like, grappling and defense. Like, grappling defense. Sometimes striking defense. But
can we get a round of applause for today's episode?
Man. We once again want to remind everyone we're here live every weekday morning, 10 a.m. here at First Live Bushwick here at 219 Central Avenue. And we want to remind everyone that you can stop in and come enjoy one of these fantastic hot or cold caffeinated beverages, or any one of the many varieties of teas we carry, including matcha tea and many assortments of Trill tea. Shout out to Chaz Green over there, Trill tea. And, also don't be afraid to stop in and come enjoy one of these handcrafted beverages.
Or alcoholic.
Handcrafted alcoholic beverages. You know what I mean, man? I said handcrafted beverages. I should have said alcoholic beverages.
We just said handcrafted,
Alcohol.
caffeinated, or alcoholic beverages.
Yes. And we also want to remind everyone about Happy Hour here at First Live here at 219 Central Avenue every Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. There usually is an event going on before, during, and after. Definitely during or after, if not before. So just stop on by, check out the calendar over at firstlive.us. And you can see what's going on here at First Live. You'll always see Bud and Roach every morning at 10 a.m. And also, don't forget, we have a full production studio here at First Live also. And all you need to know is we record anyone, anywhere, anytime. Come out, get your production services done right. Get your shit done right. It's first rate, full professional,
The whole shebang.
Yeah, man. So just go check it out, man. Where can the people follow you? Nope, got you first. Fuck out
You
here.
can follow me at I'm King Roach. You can follow First Live at First Live US.
Of course, you can follow me at Mr_Zotail. Of course, you can follow both of us at Bud and Roach Show.
We'll be back.
And you can get all of this live and, of course, archived after on firstlive.us. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. for your Hump Day episode during
Hump
week
Day.
8. Episode number 38 next week.
Day.
Next day, tomorrow. Whoa. We will see you tomorrow, Bushwick. Have
Peace.
a fantastic day.
The realness, realness. Got you stuck on the realness, realness.